Yeah.
Hey, everybody. We are about to talk about good people serving in our military and keeping it in the family. Stay tuned for more. Welcome, everyone, to Your Little Castle Show. We're all on this little planet trying to accomplish something positive to make an impact. Is that fair to say? You guys, after an hour and a half discussion we've had now, family,
Right.
Yes.
military,
Right.
and are always working together to a little business you guys have had now going on for 39 years, Jimmy. You've been
Correct.
doing this. We pulled together some of the work. Full disclosure, we said, hey, what can we do to help you? We'll help you get a little website put together, got a little Facebook page put together, and now we're showing off that 39 years of expertise and now being joined by your nephew,
Yes.
Right.
Noah, who served in our United States Army.
That's correct.
Thank you for your service.
Well, thank you.
Well, as we get into this, we like to talk to those leaders who have that kind of experience. And I've instructed Don, I said, you find out with people if they have good reviews, which you do, and they have years of experience, and 2 out of the 3, the third one being a website. If you don't have a website, that's okay.
Right.
We know that. Many times there's still so many businesses that don't have websites, and they've been very successful without them. But we know that websites will help, and I said, hey, let me help you out a little bit, and we'll
You
put
took
that.
care of that for us.
We got that knocked out. It's a good-looking website. We're going to share that on the wall here with everybody here in just a minute. But first, let's talk about a little bit about what it is we do in our community and the sponsors that we have. As I'm switching cameras around here. There we go. Carol House Furniture, because you like nice things in your little castle. How many of us live in a home that we consider our own little castle? And along those lines, you might as well find some way to invest in your future. You can only spend so many hours a day working. Gold has become one of the most lucrative investment tools on the face of the planet. And I didn't know this until I ran into a friend. And there he is, Curtis Harland, who I was talking to just before the show. And we've got another person who's going to join us on our team. I won't name who that is yet, but there it is, everybody. Hold up the right camera. There it is. That's Curtis inside the magazine, 7K. He has started his own distribution called My Metal Pro and helped more families than anybody in the world. So if you'd like to learn more about that, talk to us about that. With that, let's now pull it up. Here it is, everybody. Ta-da! A website. Ta-da! And a Facebook page. And I had that up on the wrong, so I'm going to move it over there right now. Here it is. Look at this. Ta-da! Oh, I know it's going to work. There it goes. And split them on. And there we go. So now you see that we've got a beautiful website.
The contractor's still. The contractor's.
Oh, we got. Well, I'll make that little adaptation there. You can't even see that from here.
Right.
When I first helped to make the logo, my dyslexia kicked in, and I put up tars instead of rods, or rot instead of tar, or whatever it was I did. But
It's minor misspelling.
it's a minor mistake. But we fixed it, and I just didn't change the image.
Exactly. We got
I
distracted.
will
we were
do that
doing so many other things.
Because I'm a computer nerd, I will do that when I have you guys on camera. So with that, I'm going to let you start talking until you can tell that I'm not busy fixing that little blunder.
Okay.
Keep talking. If you have to pause, I'll interject and can flip you. I'm good at multitasking. Okay. But with that, tell me then, Jimmy, what led you here? Why did you decide to get into the contracting world? And you've got some beautiful work. I mean, we're going to show that up on the wall. You can see that. If you don't notice the little misspelling there, that'll be fixed. But nobody's going to notice it. It's not going to. It'll be gone before you guys can see it. But why did you decide to get into this?
I kind of fell into it. My dad was a police officer for the city of St. Louis, and he owned property all my life basically. So he would do all the work himself on the property, and so I was, from the time I could walk, I would go to work with him, and I just that's what I enjoyed doing. And I just graduated high school, and he retired at the same time, so we started our company, and it's been going ever since.
Right, he did 23 years?
23 years.
23 years on the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, and during that time, he, like you said, he bought a bunch of rental properties.
He owned quite a bit of property down in Soulard, before Soulard is what it is now. But
okay.
Yeah, so they owned 65 units in Soulard at one time.
Wow.
Yeah, we owned blocks. We used to own blocks, and I said once the money started coming in, they just started cracking down on enforcement, cold enforcement, also. It was just him, and I was like 5 years old, so I wasn't much help then.
Well, I had been a help to my family when we were doing, and I used to take screwdrivers and just drop them down the pipes. Was that helpful? Not really.
To plumbers business.
Helping the plumbers get some business.
Right.
But you're saying this goes back since you were an infant, and that's really where you talked about in our pregame prep, what we call our pregame prep, our bullpen discussion. Literally, like, since you didn't know any other, this is you fell into it because it's like this is what Dad was doing, and you were helping Dad as an infant.
Right.
Like 2-3 years old.
He did a lot of things that he would probably go to jail for nowadays. I literally, when I was 5 years old, the one I remember was I was 5 years old, we'd climb up a 2-story building. I would be on his back, and he would climb a ladder with me on his back up to the top of a roof.
We don't do that now.
We don't do that now, no.
There's child labor law.
Yeah.
Back then, it was just like, this is the family, and the family's involved. I don't want to leave my kid running around where the wolves and the bears could get to him.
Right.
So we put him on the back. That was the safe way to do things back then.
And before we started this company, we had owned a demolition company. And like I said, I was driving a bulldozer at 6 years old, tearing down buildings.
6 years old?
6 years old, yes.
Running a bulldozer?
Yes.
Okay.
So, like I said, I'm just kind of made for it, I guess.
Nice. No, what led you here? Why did you decide to join in with your uncle?
Pretty much along the same lines. Whenever I moved back up to the city, I graduated high school early, and I had plans to go to college, but things fell through and didn't work out. And I was having a hard time trying to figure out what I actually wanted to do with my life, and then started getting into the contracting business because it was available. He always had work going on. It seemed like a good thing to learn, and I've always done things with my hands anyways. So whenever I was at my dad's house, I used to train horses. I worked on farms and ranches as a ranch hand. I used to do rodeo shows and all that kind of stuff. So I'm used to doing hard manual labor.
Rodeo shows.
Right, yes sir.
Did it all.
But whenever I graduated high school, like I said, I was just having a hard time figuring out what I wanted to do. And he took me in, and then I joined the Army after I got out. I did some contracting work and came back to the city, and he was like, hey, the job's still here if you want it. And I was like, all right, put me in. And now I'm here.
It turned out to be a good fit for you, Jimmy?
Yeah, worked out really good.
And obviously, between the two of you, there's a lot of work that has to be done with any kind of project. But it's nice to have somebody that can be accountable and does good work. Did I got a little bit more excited by what was going here, just because I love talking to guys who have served in our military. But there's a lot of discipline that is learned there from being in the military too. Is that true? And it's fair to say that, hey, you knew that when he came out of the military, there was going to be
sometimes he's more disciplined than me on a lot of things. But we make it work.
Well, I mean, that's what it takes to run a business. I mean, it's inevitable you're going to have some hurdles, no matter what it is. That's just the
correct.
Life.
Yes.
And I like the argument I make now is like life is all about the hurdles. The hurdles that you overcome are the ones that make you stronger.
It makes you who you are.
Exactly, and like we say in the Army, small victories. And that's what you're fighting through life for. Just it's like you said, always hurdle after hurdle. Just gotta take those small victories when you can.
Every little, and that builds confidence and teaches you lessons and all kinds of good. I didn't realize small victories. I like that. See, I get to learn every day too from people that are probably 30 years younger than me, but with that military background. That helps a lot. And you learn those lessons a lot of places, but military is a good place.
Absolutely.
You feel like you gained a lot by being in the military?
Definitely. There's a lot of benefits that come with serving just in and of itself. A lot of experiences that you'll get just from doing that route, just from going that route. But it will absolutely help you grow up and mature as a person. Okay,
yeah, that's what we're talking about, the things that help make businesses successful, especially from a small business perspective. And we've had businesses on here that had 13 and 14 locations. And we've had businesses that were literally mom and pop out of the house. And all of them contribute. Because I feel like that's who we want to highlight as well, because there's so many of those businesses just don't know where to get the spotlight. They don't have the big bucks to do so. So we put together a show, we got sponsors, and then everybody comes together and helps us sponsor a show that we put together to highlight the leaders that are doing the great things that are out there. Well, Jimmy, tell me, what is it about your business that fuels your passion? What do you love about what you get to do? And now you've been doing 39 years. You started. I guess you started when you were 4. So
right.
You're 44 now.
Yeah. No, I wish I was that young, but
where's the will?
I like going in when the completion, when something's done. You go in and you see what people want. And then when you get it done, you just stand back and say, yeah, we did that. And it sounds kind of cocky, but it's
fulfills that like creative.
Yeah, yeah.
you built something.
Right,
Everybody
right.
would love to imagine they built something.
Right.
I do a lot of digital and virtual stuff, but it's something that gets built. It can help somebody.
You're outdoing me.
But just, and I get it. Every job is necessary. We all have important roles, but when you actually put your hands together and lift the boards and pick up the hammers,
Right.
and then do the design, do the construction, and put together. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to show a lot of great, beautiful work that's been done here, and we did. I'm good at websites, and I know how to make those look good quickly. The whole website isn't completely finished, but I told Jimmy, I said, I want to help you out here, man. Let's get that done. And so we're going to show off some of his great work. As you can see, these images that are on the wall behind us are from his work, and we're going to show off some of those. I've got a montage saved on the computer. Probably our second show, we'll get into that. But let's talk about it. One of the other important things I think that a lot of people do want to know about is, what do people say about you? How do you rank with the BBB? And it's one of the most useful resources out there, because the BBB does critically analyze those people who are in our community, and they get rankings according to that. So you've been running out of Valley Park, which is close to where the Cardinal Cowboy grew up. I grew up in Fenton.
Okay.
Bowles in 141, right a bit further
Right,
down
right.
141 from you there. San Simeon is the big subdivision everybody knows. We're in Somerset, which is the older subdivision. San Simeon? Oh no, we weren't that.
I think
we
we
weren't
worked
that
in.
rich.
No, we worked in
Is that where we just said
Villa Grand, right there off
Villa
Bowles.
Grand, that's not
Yeah,
far
we just
away,
did we did a bathroom job in there
Yeah.
just not too long ago.
But I want to show everybody here the BBB work you've done. So that's pretty cool. And so the BBB has accredited you as, and you've got an A+ on the BBB, and a lot of great things that are being said about you there. What does it make you? How does it make you feel to have? I'm putting this up on the wall for everybody. If I can get that to come up, there it is. And it's freezing my other. Let me go back to the widescreen. That's interesting. My BBB stuff. It's captured on frozen on an old. The image that you just saw isn't even up on the walls, everybody. So, but sometimes these computers do act a little. But what's it make you feel like to have the BBB saying these nice things? There we go. I just got it on the wall for everybody. That was a previous guest. They did some fun stuff with us. But the BBB saying nice things about you. There you are. I gotta feel good about that.
Definitely, yeah. I said it proves that your work, is worth something. That you hold up to your word. You promise to put out a good job, and you put out a good job.
Especially considering like it's a family business, so there's more that comes behind that. Like, it's not just something that we're doing; it's something that we've been living through like our whole lives and working towards and striving to achieve. And so having that behind us is something to really be proud of.
Generations now. How many is this? The second,
This
third? How many?
is third now.
Third
yeah.
generation, yeah, because your dad, okay, I get
Right.
it. Down in the Soulard, I've got my next door neighbor in Fenton, PJ, his dad, Pete, had the Soulard Farmers Market. And he probably
wow.
sold vegetables to you.
Yeah, we used to go down there all the time when I was a
To your
kid.
dad.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And it's just, you track the heritage and the history of St. Louis. Soulard is one of the most
Oh, yeah.
iconic
Right.
parts of St. Louis, and back to those farmer markets where they literally like fresh food right
Yeah.
off the
Absolutely.
Out the
carriage.
mine or whatever.
Right off the boards.
right off the bars, right off the carriage, right over there, and that's where it all started. But yeah, so that's got to be fun. 3 generations now. You're got to be close to getting 75, 100 years of total history.
Right.
When did your dad start on that too? When he was a kid?
No, like I said, he bought his first piece of property when he was 18 years old, and they just kept building and building and building from there. So it's kind of in the blood, I guess you could say.
Yeah, well, it's a great industry to be in. I wonder why is real estate so lucrative? Because bottom line, everyone needs a place to live.
Right.
Absolutely.
And in America, we've kind of put together a nice little system where that if you work hard and help others, you can make a little more money and get a nice place to live. And
Right.
pretty much in America, like most everybody's got a pretty decent. We don't have a whole lot of dirt floors in America.
Right.
Right. Hopefully.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
If you do, we can put concrete in there
We
for
can
you.
come fix that. Jimmy would. How
can
far do you
fix that for
travel,
you.
Jimmy?
Have money, we'll travel.
Okay, as long as it all makes economic
Right,
sense. you'll go far,
exactly.
whatever it takes.
Done work in the Ozarks.
We've
Done
done, yeah,
work all over the place.
Okay.
In Colorado, we worked. Like I said,
Colorado.
we just kind of make it a work vacation. And sometimes,
Yeah,
don't
sometimes
feel we're
travel,
working.
and then go to pick your work where you can go do some fun things.
Right,
Watch a baseball
exactly.
game or go to a Disney or something.
Exactly.
Like that. Okay. Very cool. All right, we're going to step aside here for a quick community piece. Some more of the fun we do in our community, and this is a local business owner who had reached out. And I said, we'll just do a little spot about you, and I'll come out there to visit you. So please take a look here and enjoy a little bit of what we did out in our community.
So our benches, barbells.
So if I was really working out, I'd put like 6 of those on, right?
Yeah, all the plates that we have, Carter. We have 45s, 25s, 10s.
Back in the day.
Yeah. We have some trap bars over here, and you can see there's a couple sleds and our woodway, which is our curved treadmill. And this is some turf that we have.
Yeah, I was gonna say this turf looks pretty cool here.
Yeah.
Nice.
You can see our customized plates and dumbbells. And we have some kettlebells here. And then I think we have about 10 to 12 of these barbells. They're all 45 pounds. And then our wall balls.
Yeah, what do you call these? These are
Wall balls.
weight training
Yeah.
balls. You'll catch
Yep.
those, throw them.
4 to 20. Yeah, they're really good for med ball slams, especially for those angry days. We have some foam rollers. These tidal tanks are pretty cool. They're really work on the core because the wall.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey everybody, Cardinal Cowboy here. I want to invite all of you to be part of my new team.
So we'll
no,
go down
you don't
here.
have
So
to put
it's
on a
a
baseball
little cost
uniform
analysis.
and be a super fan.
Basically, that's
now, it
what
would be a
I-
good
what
idea
does it generally
to
cost?
cheer for the
And then
Cardinals,
somebody always
the
uses the
greatest
analogy.
team in the history
What
of
if somebody
the
wanted to do
National
it
League.
themselves?
But I'm talking
yeah,
about
here's what you risk.
the
You might
gold
save a few
Cowboy
bucks,
team.
but then you're gonna have to
You know, I
redo
love
it.
to help
Right.
people follow their
That kind
dreams
of
and reach their goals.
Yep, that's
Business
usually what
and
happens
life.
too.
That's one of the reasons
that's fine.
why
We'll
I'm
come
telling
back
you
and
about
fix
my
that for
friends
Right.
at My Metal Pro. They help people like you and I acquire
it costs
gold
that
and
much.
silver.
Yeah, I don't know what it costs.
Membership
Probably
that
2/3
lets you
more we did
safely
it, or
buy,
2/3
sell,
more
and
higher
store
out.
gold and silver.
Kinda.
They make it real easy to get started. My Metal Pro isn't like the big guys you see on network TV or the big coin shops that take a huge commission. So become part of my Gold Cowboy team. Scan the QR code or go to goldcowboy.com and check it out. Giddy up!
Well, there we go, everybody. So there we were in the community doing the fun stuff that we get to do. Jimmy, what's that like? Being part of the community, you've got to feel good about what you're getting to contribute with what you're doing.
Yeah, that's a.
Yeah, I mean, look at the work you've done. I mean,
Right,
come on.
yeah, we're beautifying the community. How's that?
40 years. I saw it on the BBB over there. It's actually not 39, but they credit you with it, and you've rolled into that 40th year.
Oh, well, okay.
And so that's 39, 40, you lose track.
Yeah, right.
Round up.
Yeah, like I said, it's good to walk to drive through the community and see houses that you've done. I got literally again, we worked there, we worked there, we worked there. And there's many neighborhoods that we've gone through and we worked on.
Okay. Well, that's what we like to talk about. Give me a little analysis, though, if you would. There's a lot of people that spend quite a bit of money getting this done, obviously, and there's reasons you will spend the money necessary. But give me that cost analysis. What I like to help people understand is like, oh yeah, you can go to Lowe's. Nope, nothing against that. Buy a door, buy a window. But when it's said and done, how does that work out for people, and what do you usually recommend? And if people want to do that, then you'll help them.
Yeah, if people want to do that, that's fine. Like I said, there is some risks when you do it because you're going to spend the money initially for a product, then the time to put it in, and then if for some reason it doesn't go right, you have to call somebody to come back and fix it. So then you're paying twice for the material. You're paying twice, and then, like I said, when you come back and work over somebody else's work too, it's typically harder and more expensive too to come back and work over somebody's work or come behind somebody to do their work, which most people don't typically like doing that, and so you typically end up paying for that because most people don't like doing that.
Yeah, it's extra work, and they're going to say, I don't know how this is built, and the ingenuity's not there. No, you've seen a lot of this work. What's it like when you've got to get in there? What do you recommend? Do it right the first time kind of thing, but dealt with some of these projects as the foreman?
Yeah, absolutely. So whenever it comes to customers trying to DIY, do it yourself, like a lot of times they look at the videos and the videos make it all look easy, right? But it's not until you start actually doing those things, it's like, okay, there's actually a lot more finesse that goes into these things to make these things look good. And so whenever it comes to rehabbing somebody's work that they had done and it didn't come out to their expectations, then you have to go through and demolish, and then you have to redo what they did, but then you have to do it right and better. So, and then not only that.
Not the way, let's put the hat on for that.
Right.
The community we talk about here, you're helping people understand this is, don't save a few dollars, only, like you're literally like, you say the word demolish, and I'm going, oh, so like you have to literally tear out all the new things that they try to put in on
Absolutely.
their own.
Sometimes
and
it is
throw that
like
away
that.
And then start over.
A lot of times it's like that. So with one of the gazebos, it was a deck job that we just did. There was rotted wood down at the bottom, and then we had to replace that. But previously someone had tried to repair it, and then they did it the incorrect way, so we had to go through and take their previous work out, which created more work for us, and it created that made that job just that much bigger because we had to go through and repair something that wasn't necessarily something that may have needed to be done originally if that hadn't been.
It created extra work by the line and wasted a lot of resources.
Right.
Not the way to do things, everybody.
Right. And I said one thing about YouTube. Like I said, a lot of those videos are edited. There's a lot of time. You don't remodel a whole bathroom in 3 or 4 days or 3 or 4 hours, as they would like to make it look on YouTube or something.
I love watching the house remodeling show.
Right.
Every time I go to my mom's, that's what she's got generally on the TV. And it's neat because then they're like, oh, and day 3, and day 4, and day 7, and day 30, and they're all within 30 minutes.
Right.
But what you don't know is like literally they had the crews. They're like, got to refilm that. We didn't get. I know what it's like to produce that, much less to be in the one to build it.
Right.
There's a whole lot more that goes into it.
Right.
It's a
Exactly.
lot more simple than it is.
Right. At the same time, I would like to say though, if you do feel like you want to do it yourself, by all means, do it. Take that pride in the work, then your home and the stuff that you do at the same time, because that is something that you're doing for yourself. And so.
And if you need some help, then come back around and maybe even give to. We had a previous guest on mentioned if you think this is a good. I think this makes sense. But you will offer your advice even for free over the phone,
yeah, sure.
Because it's just a good nature thing to do. And then they say, "Hey, Jimmy was really nice. Noah was really nice. They told us what to do. We didn't get it done. But let's call those guys because they were at least the ones nice enough to help us along the way."
Right. Yeah, we have no problem with that at all.
Right.
Good strategy. Okay, I like it. Tell me then, if you do work for people, obviously quite a bit for 39 years now, what would you say, Jimmy, is the one thing that, and I'm going to ask you next, Noah, or maybe I should let's ask Noah first, actually. What is the one thing that sets you guys apart when it comes down to it and all the work that's being done?
That's honestly an easy one. Just like, so I'll go through pretty much anywhere I go and I'll automatically analyze whatever work is done. And I feel like the one thing that is most prevalent in my experience, the things that I observe, is just the quality of work. It seems like everybody just these other companies that do the commercial renovations and residences and stuff like that, residential stuff, they aren't as tedious on the minute details as we are, because we'll go back over the same thing 2 or 3 times if that's what it takes to make it look exactly how we want it to. And that's something that I initially told my uncle whenever I first got started in the business. Whenever I first got started in the business, I was like, man, if this is what people accept, like, we need to lower our standards. But no, we don't. That's what keeps us in business.
Yeah, I've seen the work myself, and many times people, I had so-and-so do this and whatever. I'm like, I'm not even going to name specifics. I did have a very specific thing with somebody who's well-known. I will not mention because I never wanted to. And they did the work for somebody I know very well, if that gives you some indication. And I'm like, they didn't even finish the paint job.
Right.
Well, and that was their argument, was that this just wasn't part of the deal. I'm like, but it could have easily been done with another hour's worth of work or
Right.
somebody they contracted. And I just, then that was left undone for months.
Right.
Right.
So then finally I was going to come over there, and I had a buddy of mine come over, and he had a heart condition or something. And my sister stepped up, and she ended up painting it with my mother. So now you know who it was.
So that's the kind of some stuff that, like I said, we find ourselves doing a lot. If it's just, if we
just
see
did that
something,
today.
yeah, if we see
just
something,
did that today.
we might be finishing something up. We're looking, boy, that wasn't on their contract, but we can't walk away and just leave it like that, you know?
Yeah.
So we catch ourselves doing that a lot.
Yeah, your conscience bothers you.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
I see that too, and I've just programmed my brain. I see something sitting on the floor. I see a bottle just float around in the aisle at the Cardinal game. I'm like, I got to pick this thing up. It just doesn't look right.
Right. Yeah, it's like we're walking
Take
past
pride
a piece of
in
trash. Like you said, it's sitting there. What's it going to take just to pick that little piece of trash up and just
In
walk it
the
somewhere?
in the Army, there's a word for it, and it's called integrity. And it's what it comes down to, what it boils down to, is just doing the right thing.
Doing the right thing when even people aren't watching.
Exactly.
You still do the right thing. That's integrity. I appreciate that. That's good. That's good feedback for everybody to understand.
Speaking of the trash, my granddaughter, when she was like 2 years old, we'd walk by and we'd say, no, throw your trash in the trash can, throw your trash in the trash. And we were walking down one day, there's trash on the street. She starts picking trash, just trash random. And I'm like, no, not that. No. Let's not get too carried away.
Oh, I get it. You're ingraining that mentality.
Right.
They pick it up. Kids don't know the difference between your trash and their trash. They
Right.
see trash.
Yeah, she was just going wild, picking all kinds. I'm like, well, come on, now gotta
Pick your battles.
yeah, exactly.
Well, that's pretty cool. Well, tell me, I imagine there's a lot of mistakes that can be made. This is a big project. Every time you're remodeling somebody's basement, you're finishing a bathroom, you're remodeling a kitchen. What's the biggest mistake that you guys see? Jimmy, I'll start off with you on this one first. The biggest mistake you see that the average homeowner makes when they're
The unforeseen problems. When you're tearing a wall open, say you're doing a bathroom, get to the plumbing. When you don't know what's behind there, it might work. The faucets might work fine, but you don't know what's And we've opened up some cans of worms before, and that's the thing. Like, people do it themselves. Once they open up and see something like that, it's going to just kind of throw a monkey wrench into the whole thing, and you can maybe confuse them or throw them off or something. And that's kind of.
Well, we're finished with our first half hour here, everybody. Look down. We're at,
wow.
just short of the 28 minutes, 30 seconds. But we'll start off with that answer from Jimmy's assistant, Jimmy's foreman here, in just a second on our second show. Thanks, everybody.